Today we need to talk about passwords and how passwords are not being used appropriately by us, the end users, in any regard, and why we have no security and the level of expertise to get security is above everyone. So let's start with the problem. And the problem is this. This smartphone is basically a camera that's on when the smartphone is off. You could take the battery out of this camera, but you can't be sure that it's totally dead. But you can take it apart and make sure it's totally dead. But you can't just take the battery out and make sure it's totally dead. You can turn it off and it's definitely still on. It's definitely still recording. It's definitely still able to transmit a very high quality image. This is a cheap phone, so it's not that good for them. It's only got low quality cameras, but they can still catch a password in pencil as it scans past because digital imaging processing is incredible. This TV has a light sensor. And what that means is that this specific Sony television, because of this light sensor, instead of using a diode, it uses a camera. So this is always recording you. This little guy here, he's got a camera up here. Now, if you're sitting at your desk and typing in your passwords, an AI bot can take your password from your key presses just from watching the camera from that. Just because you've left your kid's toy on your desk or your toy on your desk. Everything is a problem. Interestingly enough, this is a camera. This camera will not take your password unless you take a photograph of it. Because this camera is not smart, it has no real processing. This is the most dangerous thing in your house. One, it will set your house on fire, and two, it's an Internet of Thing device with a processor that's constantly on in your home, on your Wi-Fi network, and able to probe and brute force all your computers and systems at your own expense. So now, you need to know that you cannot take this and pass this over anything. As you walk about your house, this is taking photographs. And someone can then use that to map all the equipment in your house, like within a centimetre. And then when they know what all the Internet of Things devices are, they can create a map. And when they've created a map, they can literally do anything they want. They can make you show them your password. So that's something you need to think about. So here we go, how to make a password. So this is your first password. No username, just a password, I am password. All uppercase, very easy to brute force. Next, user. You got a username. This is probably quite easy to find. This has to be brute forced, but it can be brute forced with a dictionary attack, which is quite fast. This one, if they brute force the username, yeah, they're probably not going to. They're probably going to fucking do something weird. But this is where it starts getting difficult because it has to go through the dictionary attack and then it has to come to a single character attack. And you see this has uppercase, it has letters, the only word that's there, so there's no point doing a dictionary attack. 4's instead of an A, 5 instead of an S, simple like transposition. And then a little smiley face, because it's always nice to have extra characters that aren't alphabetical. Now, here's where you want to be. So you need to have yourself an encrypted hard drive. Your hard drive has to be encrypted. The next thing is, if you don't have your hard drive encrypted and you leave your computer plugged into the internet and turned off, people can attack your hard drive and read it that way. So as soon as you turn your computer off and leave it on the internet, someone goes in and changes your files, changes your executable files, and just hacks your computer. The next time you go in, you're hacked. You have to have an encrypted drive. You want a good username. This is totally blown out of all proportion. And you want to be making your passwords appropriately. Now, here's how you make your passwords appropriately. Here's where I took my password from. See the first one? I've put in a little plus because it's nice to have a little bit of decoration and it adds to the brute force. N from here, W from here. Decided not to use the pot, gone long. There's long, company, and you'll see all the stuff, and this password has been generated off this book, off this box. But the thing is, if someone sees you doing that, or you're known to do that, you've just subjected yourself to a kind of a dictionary attack. But I don't know if anyone's going to waste their time on that one. You can just brute force it with every device in your house. So here's the book. You just open your book if you only have one book, and you take a word. And then you don't have to take the whole word. So just go like UC, capital H, comma, OM, and just pick things and add numbers. So you wouldn't want to go that one. So you go think to yourself, oh, middle number, next page, and it'll be 5, and then front number or last number, and it'll be 1. And that's how you build yourself a password. If you've got like game books or something, it's even easier because there's so much more like numbers to add, all kinds of characters. Or you could describe a picture. Anything as long as it's not machine generated. Now here's where it gets difficult. So now you have a password, okay? So you're thinking, I am the king of the passwords, I have this all sorted out. Well, the problem is now your phone became your enemy. So if you want to have any chance of security, you need to secure your enemy before you do anything. Before you start entering your passwords, have a bit of paper that says all the cameras out the way. So you need to get this and like stick it in a drawer or something. So, oh well, go away from it, into the drawer. Now, we have to understand that we are no longer dealing with humans. We are dealing with AI that can penetrate anything and see anything. So, look at this. You can see this one. If you have a password written in a thick marker, you can read that through both sides. So a machine reading with a camera is definitely going to read that. The machine sees better than you see. It can take a photograph and then process that photograph in any time it wants and find. You've seen how people look through bras. You've seen like photographs on the internet where they've highlighted someone's underwear through their clothes using these methods. So you can see Sharpie, pen. You can even see pencil. So you have to be aware you cannot just do that. You have to move to a new set. And what you have to do is you have to have like a book. I'll show you my book. And it's just, the purpose of the book is to have a cover on the book. The purpose of the book is to have, so the ability to, oh my goodness, not show everyone all your stuff. But you have to be aware that you have to be careful. So you get everything out of the way, and then you need a cover. You need a cover on the back of the paper, like a thick cover. Like that's probably not thick enough. probably just given away my passwords. No jokes. Anyway. So you take your paper, and it looks like you've got to fold it up. And you create yourself a screen. And the thing is, you have to be fully aware that what you want is for as soon as you stop using your password, it to be in an unreadable state. So if you have it on a sheet of paper, the moment you walk away from, what you'll do is you walk away from it, and you go, and you'll think, oh, I need to talk to my mum about groceries. And you'll get your phone out, and you'll be like that. I guarantee it. So you have this, you check your password, and then as soon as you're finished writing the password, it closes itself. Do you understand? And then it cannot be captured by camera. Everyone needs to understand, this is a tool that's being used by little children. Like adults are giving it to little children and just letting children run amok. And then if you pay the blackmail, you get taken off the fuck you list. Sorry, pardon my French. So you have to be aware that it's not people that are doing it, because the people who are doing it are really stupid, venal people, childish minds, not childlike, childish minds. And they are using tools that automate all of this generated by AI that just brute forces everything until it finds the right thing. So whatever you do, it has to be out of the range of camera, out of the range of microphone, preferably, because you're telling how many keystrokes there are, you're telling the pattern you're typing, and eventually, if they sit there and they work out the pattern you're typing, how long it does, and send you enough prompts through like corrupt web pages and stuff, they can find out. You just have to think, how is it possible for a machine to work this out? And if it is, your password is compromised. That's all. Thank you so much for your time.